Welcome to Recovery Inspired Hope. We're so excited on our new season. This is season 2 of Recovery Inspired Hope. We have been on break for a couple months of recording because I just got married. So I'm 3 weeks back from getting married, and it was an amazing vacation. And now we're back in studio. We're so excited. And I have a very special guest for you today. Miss Julie out of Rochester, New York, who has started an amazing beauty school for trafficking victims. And she has a story that is going to blow you out of the water. Miss Julie, do you want to tell us a little bit about when the school was started and where, and a little bit of like how you kind of just decided to do it?
Sure. So we're actually still in the process, Jamie, of opening. We're still in the process of that. We need a proper building is what's going on right now.
Okay.
We've got everything all set. We're the state, we're legal. Everybody knows what we're doing. We want to do this. But New York State is one of those states that, they have a lot of requirements. Yes. And so part of that is, we need to have a building that they will approve of to be a post-secondary cosmetology school. And so that unfortunately puts us in a camp where just not any building will work. We need about 10,000 square feet. And there's a lot of, they want to see everything in our site plans on paper first, obviously. And that's just always a good idea, no matter what, because if they tell you, oh, your bathroom has to be moved 3 feet, it's easier to do that on paper than it is when the hardcore plumbing's in,
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so we're going through all of that right now, and we're actually in our funding phase of things where we're applying for grants. We've been reaching out to private foundations, and we're having our first big fundraiser on November 5th here in Rochester. It's our first huge event. We're putting together a fashion show. Some of our soon-to-be students are going to be walking, and it's just, they're going to be my models. And we had a professional model trainer teach them their catwalks and poses, and we're just having a great time. So getting all of that set up has been, it's been a lot going on, Jamie, to be honest with you, but it needs to happen. When I get questions about this school and why did you decide to open, and what we've realized is when it comes to traffic survivors specifically, if you do get people that have been on the street for a good length of time, they have usually been picked up for prostitution. They've usually been picked up for possibly drug possession. And in talking to the survivors, I've never met one yet that hasn't use drugs just to get through a day, because you really can't allow somebody to do what they do to you all day long and be mentally present. You need to have kind of and so for a lot of these girls, it is drugs, and also the pimps know this, and so they will use drugs as well as a way to control. And so what happens usually is the girl gets arrested, she's in trouble now. And instead of seeing that this is like a victim kind of cycle and she's stuck, it's like, okay, you do some jail time, you do this, that, the other, and then you're just released. Well, who are you released to? You've got, these people that are totally controlling you, and it's horrible. And so we have a lot of programs here in Rochester that are dedicated to helping these girls out of just like the street life. So we have about 10, Jamie, here in Rochester alone that go out, they do street ministry. They will tell girls, we have safe houses for you to come to. Now, sometimes it can take years, and I'm not kidding, like years for a girl to trust that the house you're telling me about is really safe. Because they've been told that before, and they walked in and bad things happened to them.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, we'll help you. We're going to help you. We're going to get you out of this situation. And then you walk into a worse one.
Yeah, exactly. And so it gets really, really bad. And so we do have some safe houses now that are in undisclosed locations around Rochester where the girls, one of them, it's called Bright Star Community. It's a 2-year program and it's amazing. They bring the girls into, first of all, their very own home. The girls own the home. It's not a group home. It's not, they get to come in, they get to decorate it. You know, there are house rules. There is no using. They do have to go through rehab. They have to, there's certain rules that have to be there, but at the end of the day, the girls are really being taught what it means to be able to live on your own and create a budget and be able to, you know, but first, before they get to that, there has to be therapy. They go through all kinds of trauma therapy. I mean, basic needs are met first, obviously, you know, and we want the girls to be healthy. So they go to doctors, they have their therapy sessions, they're doing so much good for themselves. And when they see that they're feeling better and they're off the drugs and they're getting better, and then it's kind of like where these programs end is what's next. And it's that what's next that's totally lacking. We have the base level programs that are helping girls tremendously. But really, when I'm looking at these programs, I'm like, what is next? You know, where do we go from here? Because it's fine that you've done therapy. It's wonderful. You're off drugs. This is all very good stuff. But now what? Because you have to have a way to sustain your life and you need a job, and the jobs that seem to be open to the survivors, Jamie, have been like fast food joints. And I'm not knocking any fast food joint, but they're high school jobs. Right. I mean, realistically, it's not going to support you and your children and pay for a car and car insurance and gasoline. You know what I mean? There's things that these minimum wage high school job things don't do as a career. It just doesn't work. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, okay, well, what about the higher paying jobs? Well, the background checks are an issue. They always come up. I actually had a girl tell me, Miss Julie, I can't go on one more job interview because I know what's going to come up. I know what they're going to ask me, and I don't have it in me to tell somebody else what I've just been through. I can't do it. And she broke down in tears. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so I said to her, I said, sweetheart, what if there was a program that you could go to get a state license and your background would never come up again after you get that license? And she was like, does something like that even exist? And I said, yes, it does. In the cosmetology field, we are able to erase your past. And she was like, oh my God, how? Like, yes, can I come like right now? And I started to realize, like, oh my God, this is a way to freedom for these women. And not only women, we get trans kids that are, you know, they're abused and used, and little gay boys that parents throw out. Is absolutely horrible, Jamie. The majority of the people that I see in the trafficking programs are women, but we're certainly open to anybody coming out of a trafficking, you know, program for sure. And I do like to say that out, that we are open to anybody that's been trafficked for sure. That's our model, and our model of the school is actually, it's an anonymous model because we're allowed to have some paid students that just want to come because they like what we're doing and they want to support us. So what I do is I'll find something in their background. Like, let's say they volunteered somewhere once or did a little bit of community service. Well, now we can put you on a scholarship where I can knock a little bit off of your, you know, so now all of our students are on scholarship. So nobody knows who's been trafficked, who hasn't. Even our teachers don't have this information. And so it's like, as soon as these girls walk in, it's a fresh start right from the get-go. And how we get around the state is during COVID, Jamie, honest to God, COVID was crazy. We all know that. But I had to get, in order to open up this school, I needed to have a New York State cosmetology instructor license. And so that license required me to drive from Rochester to New York City every other week from February, the beginning of February, to the end of May. So I was back and forth, but when I was doing this, I was working directly under the state, because the state is the one who issues licenses, and they also issue the cosmetology instructor license. So I was working directly under the state board people that issue licenses. So when I came, I told them why I was there, what I was doing, how I wanted to open this school. Well, first of all, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I always hear these bad things like, ooh, you got to work for the state. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, because the state of Georgia, I'll tell you, as a massage therapist,
yeah,
I had to jump through hoops to get a massage license. And then they put me on a it was really hard. It was like my past was in my face every day for like 6 years. They were not very open. And I believe like just recently the state here for the massage therapy board has kind of opened up its willingness and open-mindedness just a little bit, but it was terrible. So I'm so grateful that you have a board over there that is for the women and that is for their futures.
They absolutely are. And that's what they told me straight out. They said, you know, Julie, if it comes to one of your survivors, if it's just a matter of drug possession or prostitution, we almost 100% overlook that, because we don't want to stand in somebody's way of a second or third chance. If it's something where somebody got hurt, maybe a girl was protecting herself or weapons were involved, they said what you can do at that point, instead of putting a girl through your entire program and then telling her, sorry, you're not going to get your license, what I can do is I can contact the state and request a hearing. So what we do is we request a hearing and we say, listen, this is our student's past, this is the background, this is how they've been sentenced, but they're in this trafficking program now. And so what the state does is they take a look at the sentencing judge. They'll take a look at the trafficking program to find out what has this person accomplished. Are they bettering themselves in their life? And from there, they can issue me a decision as to yes or no, this person would be given a license or not. So we're not wasting anybody's time. We're not dangling carrots in front of our girls saying,
yes, it's the worst.
You know? So it was absolutely amazing that at first I was kind of like, oh my God, it's COVID. Like New York City is a hotbed of a mess right now. And people want to get out of there and I have to go. And I'm like, holy crap. This is really scary. But, you know, I'm so grateful that I did it, because it put me in touch with so many people through the state, and they're so happy and they want to see these girls succeed. You know, we all do.
That is amazing. So what I want to know is, how can we help?
Yeah. So what we're really looking for is a building. You know, if anybody knows anybody with buildings in Rochester that could either be bought for us or donated, or just tell us, yes, we'll hold it until you can do the rest of your fundraising, Julie, you know, because we did have a perfect building. Oh, it would have been amazing, but we didn't have the funds. And I called and I tried to get the owner to, you know, can we do anything? Is there anything? What do you need right now just to hold the building? Our first fundraiser is like November 5th. Like, I'll have something for you by then. But, you know, no, I'm selling to whoever makes me an offer first. And you can't make an offer without money. So truly, we are in grassroots fundraising efforts right now. November 5th, it's called Diamonds in the Rough, if anybody wanted to look that up. And, you know, we do have Miss Julie's School of Beauty.org. We're all perfectly legal. We have 501c3 status. We are a nonprofit. You know, we've been working with tax lawyers and nonprofit lawyer and tax attorney. Oh my gosh, there's been a lot to all of this, but we're ready to move forward. It's really raising the 3 million that we need. And the reason, I know that sounds crazy, but in order to get a building and retrofit a building, because here's the questions I'm asked often, well, why do you need a building? Why can't you just rent? That would be all fine and well if we were an office space. but the amount of plumbing and electric and retrofitting that has to go into turning this building into a cosmetology school, I can see many people, building owners that are looking to rent, would not feel comfortable with that. They're not going to put that kind of work into their building, because if anything went south and I had to get out, now they're stuck with a cosmetology school. You can't do anything with that, you know? So it's not ideal, you know, and for me personally, again, it goes back to the dangling of carrots. I don't want to be under the helm of somebody that can skyrocket my prices and tell me, pay this or get out, because now you're putting me in a position where I'm re-traumatizing these girls. I'm trying to help them, promising them a hope and a future. And now I can't afford it. So I have to get out of that building. And these girls, we all know, Jamie, they're going to find ways to blame themselves. They're going to think they've done something wrong and it has nothing to do with them whatsoever. And so I'm being very, very proactive, and I don't want to just get this done fast to do it. I really want to do this the absolute right way. And the right way to me is putting roots down. We are going to be here long term. We've got our students that are so excited, and we want to see everybody succeed. So I'm willing to take time and do this the right way, you know, and not just a fast way.
Yes, that is awesome. Well, we here in Athens, Georgia, I know we have a lot of organizations that support your cause. So I am going to see what we can do on this end. And we also have some connections with some organizations in some other states. So we're, you know, this is a whole community effort, and it is amazing what you're doing. And there's no doubt in my mind that your steps are being ordered and that it's going to come. I believe it 100%.
Yeah.
So that is so awesome. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be, and I'm so excited for these girls. It's going to be so amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and telling everybody about this. And I'm going to make sure to put all the links up and everything, and make sure to get this video to the right people for sure.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, Jamie.
You're welcome. And we will see you next time on Recovery Inspired Hope. We're so excited about this new season. We've got some great videos, and also our new YouTube channel that is coming up, and we'll be telling you more about that coming up soon.